Hello everyone, my name is Pilar Marrero. I'm a journalist and political analyst. I've been writing about politics. Hi everyone joining. I've been writing about politics and elections. Hi Eileen, how are you? I just started following you on Lorraine Laddish Periscope. She's my friend too. Hi. So I worked as a journalist for many, many years covering elections, and I've covered every presidential election since early 90s, I guess. And hi, you're welcome. And I've been watching this whole charade with Donald Trump. And people are kind of wondering, why he did this, why he came out and say the things he did about Mexicans, calling them rapists and people who are destroying the country and all that. And as you know, this has had some serious consequences for him now, for his business. Anyway, for those who are joining, my name is Pilar Marrero. I am a journalist. I live in Los Angeles, and originally from Venezuela. I've been working here in the United States as a journalist for many, many years covering politics. And so, it's a very logical thing that Donald Trump would say something like this. This is not the first thing that happened. This is not the first time it happened. Trump just destroyed any chance the GOP to win in 2016. Yeah, I think so. But I think it's not only Donald Trump. I think it's the GOP's record over the last maybe 15 years that has actually achieved that result. Donald Trump is just an anecdote, I think, in a trend that has taken the GOP to the extreme on immigration issues and on any issue that has to do with the Latino population. Unfortunately, they have become very hardline on immigration. And anything that has to do with the population, such as the Latino population that is growing every day in the United States, and it's causing people to fear the change, the cultural change that is already happening, as if this country had not always been a country of immigrants. So I think the reason Donald Trump did this is because others in the past, other presidential candidates in the past from the GOP have done the same exact thing. So the bottom line is, are you with or without him? So I'm trying to analyze why he did this and why he thought he could get away with it. And the reason he thought he could get away with it is because other presidential candidates in the past have done exactly the same thing. I don't know if you remember this guy, Herman Cain, 4 years ago, the pizza man. He was one of the candidates for the GOP in the primary in 2012. And I remember him saying one pretty outrageous thing. He said that if he became president, he was going to build an electrified fence so the immigrants who tried to cross the fence would die with this electricity. Dímelo, épale, qué bola, un cubano. So why didn't Latinos rise at that time when he said that? And that actually propelled Herman Cain to the front runner status in the primary of the GOP. And this is why Donald Trump is doing this. He thinks that by insulting immigrants, by insulting Mexicans, he's actually going to get votes in the GOP primary. And he might be right. You can see the latest polls indicating that actually he has grown. His numbers have grown to the point that he is basically in second place behind Jeb Bush. I don't know. I don't think that's going to last too long. And I think whatever polls they do now are worthless a few months down the line. And I think he's just going to completely going to self-destroy. But I think that's why he did it. He did it on purpose. He did it to try to improve his chances that he was going to register in the polls and that he was going to, at least for a little while, he was going to be at the front runner status. La respuesta de los Peachy Boys, ya la vi, es muy simpática. It's very, very funny. I love the Peachy Boys. I've been watching what they do. So this guy just comes out and says these things because he thinks nothing's going to happen. nothing's going to happen after he said Mexicans are rapists and they're narco traffickers or whatever it is that he said, some stupid stuff that he said. Because in the past, we have seen it in other candidates. For example, I remember this guy, I think it's Steve King, he was a congressman. He said that the young immigrants called the Dreamers were all narco traffickers, and that they had calves the size of cantaloupes because they were hauling marijuana through the desert. He said these things about kids who are actually out there studying and organizing to try to get legalized in this country. So, and nothing happened. Latinos didn't get mad. Nobody canceled anything. Nobody rose up. This time, it was a little different. It was a little different. Hello, everyone who's joining. So we're talking about why Donald Trump said the things that he said about Mexicans and why he thought he could get away with it. So what I was saying is that he said it because he thought it was going to help him in the primaries of the Republican Party, because the more outrageous things that you say, the better you do in the primaries, because the primaries are where all the very extreme conservatives come out to vote. Está loco el tipo. Sí, la verdad es que está bastante loco. Está loco, pero no está loco. He's crazy and he's not crazy at the same time. You know, this is a guy who's very smart in certain ways. You know, he es muy vivo, es muy inteligente, and he doesn't care what people think about him. But in this case, I think has backfired big time. He has no chance. No, he has no chance at all, and that's why he's doing this. He's doing this just to register in the polls, to say, oh, for such and such time I was a front runner, or I was in second place, or whatever it is that he wants to say for his ego. But this time it was a little different from other times in the past. This time people really got mad, and people got on his case and on his wallet. And people started pressuring different companies, such as Univision and NBC Telemundo and others. Bush, Christie, Perry, Rubio are the contenders. Absolutely. I think, I don't think Ted Cruz has much of a chance either, even though he, he's the darling, supposedly, of the Tea Party. I think the Tea Party has lost a lot of strength, so I don't think that's going to go too far. I definitely think that those that you mentioned are the front runners. So for now, everyone is talking about Trump, though. And Trump is in everyone's, what they say, talk about me. Habla de mí, bien o mal, pero habla de mí. Talk about me, good or bad, but do it, right? Be in the... on the TV, be on the Facebook all the time. Everyone's posting about him. Everyone's commenting on the latest stupidity that he said and all the reactions. But this time, I think his wallet is going to feel it. He has started to see, different people get back at him. Like NBC Telemundo canceled the broadcast of Miss Universe. Univision also did the same thing. Now I saw that Televisa in Mexico did the same thing. Mexico canceled participation in the pageant. More and more things are happening. Colombia, I think, also canceled. And so I don't know. I don't think this is going to really hurt him deeply in the pocket, because he's a very, very rich man. But at least there's some pushback. And I think that is good, because I think for the first time in a long time, Latinos are looking united around this and pushing the companies that actually depend on Latinos watching and buying and the Latino market to really show the strength that we have in this country. And I think that's a very, very good thing. And that is a very, very good result of this whole stupid anecdote with Donald Trump, which I think it will be quickly forgotten after the campaign continues moving on. But I think he thought that there was going to be no consequences at all. Is that right, that the next Miss Universe will be in Mexico City? No, I don't think so. Actually, Mexico canceled its participation. And I think Colombia was the next place where it was going to be held, and they said they were withdrawing. So for now, Miss Universe is going to be in trouble maybe for this year. But I think Donald Trump will recover. I think he'll be fine. But I this is a very, very good thing in the end that happened, because it really showed some unity in the Latino community, and that we can push companies to do the right thing. Now, I was a little bit disturbed about some of the reaction initially, because I thought it was kind of stupid, to have this kind of reaction. There are things happening that are much more important than this. There are policies that are being put forth that are much more harmful to the Latinos and to the Mexicans. Bogota was a candidate for the next Miss World, but Miss World, I don't think belongs to Trump. I think it's Miss Universe and Miss USA. If I'm not correct, please let me know. But anyway, he for now he's in the polls, showing that he is going up in the polls in the GOP primary. And as you know, the GOP primary is dominated by the extreme conservatives and the crazy people. And so the crazy people are ready to vote for this guy because he said something about Mexicans, something that some people and a lot of people in this country are thinking deeply inside. If you ask a certain number of people, a certain group of the population that have prejudices against certain immigrants, certain countries, you're going to find this kind of thought. And I think he was just trying to say what people are thinking. But he knows he has no chance. He knows he has no chance. So he wanted to seize the moment and really make it to the front pages, and he did. But anyway, I don't believe he has any chance of even moving forward in the primary. Although he's going to be giving us a show for a little while, I think. Anyway, that's my take on why Donald Trump, pelos, como le dicen unos amigos míos, el pelos Trump, el pelucas Trump, said the things that he said. And I think it's good that we reacted the way we did, because it was really outrageous. You do not indict a whole country and a whole community just because some people are bad people. If you have a problem with illegal immigration, then talk about that problem and point out the solutions, but do not indict a whole country, do not indict a whole people. And remember that the Mexican population is the fastest growing and the largest minority population in the United States. And also remember that when he says Mexicans, he means every Latino. He really means every Latino, because for people like Trump, there's no difference between a Mexican, Argentinian, a Colombian, a Puerto Rican. Even though Puerto Ricans are citizens, he probably doesn't even know that. And those people need to feel the consequences, I think. And it's a good thing it happened. So we must call Mr. Trump. We must call him and say what? What would you say to Mr. Trump if you would call him? Hola, guapóloga. ¿Cómo estás? Qué buena onda. Bueno, ya estaba terminando. I was almost done. I was just saying about Trump and about why he did and said the stupid things that he said. And I think it's because he wanted to be up in the polls. He wanted to be up in the polls of the crazy GOP primary. There's so many people in that primary right now that it's hard to really do something that makes you unique. And we must call Mr. Trump Mr. Orango. Yeah, he looks a little bit like an orango. Pobrecito orango. I don't want to compare the beautiful animals to him, actually. Bien, guapa. ¿Cómo estás? ¡Mua! Besos. And, pues sí, la verdad es que el señor Trump is competing for some really crazy votes. And remember los personajes que tuvimos hace 4 años. 4 years ago, we had some really weird people running in the primaries. You know, the pizza man was just one of them. And of course, Ted Cruz came out and supported Mr. Trump. He said that he was such a smart and beautiful and wonderful guy, and he was telling the truth. So essentially, Ted Cruz is saying that he's right, that Mexicans are all rapists. I think that shows very little, that shows how much of a lightweight Ted Cruz really is. So I think those two are not really serious candidates. just so that you were live. I'll rewatch it later. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get me some dinner and listen up for some for the new Donald Trump news for the night, because every hour seems to bring new Donald Trump news. Anyway, it was good seeing you and talking to you a little bit, and I'll see you later.